Hi everyone, this is JaneTaff the Sage
and Deanna Vestal, your career catalyst,
with the Lipstick Leadership Legacy Podcast. You will notice that we are in my office today. We are together. We are not quarantining.
No.
So we are here to bring the third podcast to you, the Holiday Funk, having an attitude about gratitude. So, Deanna, what are we here to talk about?
Well, since we're still new and we're still here, let's just be clear. The Lipstick Leadership Legacy Podcast is hosted by the two of us who are Tell It Like It Is leadership women in Sacramento, California. We dish about culture, women in leadership, current events, and any other juicy topics that affect the leadership experience. Our goal is to inform, entertain, and evoke curiosity, inspiring you to have provocative conversations in the workplace, among your friends, and with your loved ones. And we're so glad you're tuning into this podcast. And we want you to know that we also have a YouTube channel where you can see us, see our faces, and subscribe to keep up with us.
Absolutely. We are having fun today. And it's so much fun to have that energy where you're next to somebody as opposed to on a screen. We know you will hear us on your devices and see us on a screen, but we are really loving this energy between us. So I hope you're ready. Absolutely. I hope you're ready. So Deanna, what are we gonna do today?
Well, we've given you a little introduction. We've talked about Lipstick Leadership Legacy as a podcast, but it's the holiday season, and we want to talk about what that makes you think of. Jane, what is the holiday season like? For example, holiday music. Are you, yes, that's what I want to know. Are you yay or go away?
No, when Home Depot started playing in like July or whenever that was, I was like, please, we got 3 more months to go. Just stop. Just stop.
I know. It shocks me that I know every single song. Like when I walk into the store and I know that it's playing, I'm like, oh. And then I'm singing every song, especially all the soulful variations of the music as it plays now. And I'm like, gosh, I guess I do like holiday music. Why do I have such an attitude about it though?
Right. And you're like, too soon.
Always too soon. 2 more months of this. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And the decorating this year started early. I mean, we're on Zoom. And so I'm looking across the camera and seeing full decorations well before Thanksgiving. How do you feel about it? Do you feel it's like fun or F that?
Oh, F that.
Mm-hmm. Which F word?
Whatever F word you can think of that I'm thinking of. And really, again, too soon. You know, I did have girlfriends who were really bringing on the festive spirit for themselves. And girl, decorate your tree. I'm all good with that. Decorate your house. But don't expect me to have my house decorated because it ain't happening.
Yes, and it's fun when other people are decorating. And yet, there's some kind of societal pressure that's like, well, why aren't you decorating? Or what are you decorating? And are kids going to be in the scene this year? And all of these, it's like societal pressures for no reason. And I am absolutely with decorating F that myself. So it makes me really glad to imagine being with family, whether that's going to be on Zoom a lot more this year than ever before. But I get excited about that. Like, oh, I even get to celebrate. So I get to celebrate in a distance. Yeah. I wonder how that makes you feel, Jane. You can't wait to be with family, or you can't wait for it to be over?
Well, okay, here's where I finally get the Scrooge out of my system, because I really do love hanging out with family. I am your people person. And so the holidays bring for me a love of the family. The fact that we get to gather, hang out together is one of the favorite things that I have for the holidays. But first, let's tell you about our sponsor. All right, go ahead and tell us about our first sponsor, Deanna.
Career Path Development Group is a firm of coaches, practitioners, and activists who focus on business development and leadership. Executives who used to thrive in people-centered environments are now seeking trauma-informed approaches to connect effectively. So if you believe in personal and professional development and you're already uh, experiencing a next level type of learning experience, you will want to join us in a think tank environment by contacting us at cpdonline.net or by phone 916-883-1273 for a personal discussion. That's 916-883-1CPD. We'll look forward to talking with you.
Love it. Thank you for that. So, we are here to talk about the holiday funk, what makes us feel funky. And truly, the holiday funk is real for all of us,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's not imagined, it's not in your head. It's true for several reasons. When we thought about three in particular, and I like to call them in addition to,
Mm.
isn't it hard enough to manage our lives the way it is, let alone in
Yes.
addition to? So, in addition to your regular job, now you're having to play party planner. You're having to figure out what festivities, what traditions, what are you going to do with all these people that you're gathering for the holiday, or how you're going to do it in the new environment of Zoom or the online platform. In addition to regularly keeping up with your household, with cleaning and all this, now you have to make it festive, whatever that means. And sometimes we get highly influenced by what's going on in wherever we go. They're playing the music, they're burning the candles, they're putting up three different types of Christmas trees, and they have ornaments from many years of their families. And I'm not that mom. All of a sudden, I feel pressure that I don't have those things. I didn't do those activities. And then finally, the final nail for women is, in addition to keeping food on the table, where your money gets allocated every week, every month. Now you have to find that oh so special gift that someone, when they open it, they just have this warm, fuzzy feeling for you. And we know we can't make somebody feel good about what we gave them, even though we have great intentions, or maybe our finances are tight already and we just don't have the ability to give what we really desire to give to our individuals that we love, right? So there's a lot of pressure to perform. Do you feel that pressure? I know I do.
I really do. This is a wonderful topic because in my sphere of influence, a lot of the women seem to enjoy Christmas the most of any
Yeah.
holiday and are talking in almost every conversation about what they're buying and about these ornaments that you're saying
Ah,
have been saved up year over year. And the silence, I mean, I'm totally engaged, but I'm also not including any information
yeah.
about myself because, Jane, like you, I am not festive. And I had no idea for years that that was because the holidays came with a lot of bad times for me, that I
Yeah.
associated the holidays with the ugliest part of human interaction and
Right.
grief and loss.
Mm.
So I just pretty much keep to myself. And then in asking, well,
Mhm.
what have you got planned, Deanna? I feel this immediate pressure in exactly the ways
Yeah.
that you're saying. So what do? Cover up. Well, I'm planning to do this, and
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to doing that and
Yeah.
really hyper focusing on the most pleasurable parts of the holiday, which includes spending time with my daughter
Yeah.
and my loved ones, who we really are a tight knit group
Yeah.
among our inner circle.
Yeah.
And so we focus on the positive a whole bunch. And I really feel it's a treasure to actually tap into what doesn't feel so good
Yeah.
about the holidays. So,
Yeah, me too. Me too. Those conversations are so uncomfortable, aren't they? Because you feel put on the spot because you're having these, let's just say it, negative feelings about what otherwise should be positive, festive, and the happiest time of the year. That really just torques me. because I'm not happy. In fact, for a long time, it was the saddest part of my year. The saddest part, the most pressure, the most shame filled, the most guilty, the most anxious, because really the good stories came out from people who had good experiences, good environments growing up, where holidays were positive experiences and there wasn't fighting. It was gathering for a good purpose, and not time to shame people. Time to shame people. And it becomes really important that you start making some decisions. If you're anything like me and you struggled for years trying to get your happy on during the holidays, I started making some decisions, because what happened for me was I came into a relationship with my husband, and his family was all about Christmas. And I thought, what is this artificial BS? Right?
Right.
Why are you all trying to be all happy, happy, joy, joy? And I didn't have any of that. And it was so foreign to me that I stuck out as this very grinchy type of family member. And you were okay until we got to this Christmas environment. You got all, and something happened. And as I observed, I had years of pressure where I must fulfill this happy joy expectation.
Sure.
And then I realized that's really bringing me deep distress. It wasn't just I'm annoyed by it. It was deep distress, because I felt like I was not true to myself. I was really doing a lot of things and piling on more pressure. And after the holidays, I'd fall into a depression that was really bad. And that finally pushed me over the edge. Wow. And so recently, I learned to do a few things. And it's just a few things. The first one is this. Because decorating is the bane to my existence, I don't do it. But my husband and my kids do. My husband and my kids do. I did have the wherewithal to do little trees for my kids and let them decorate them any way they wanted. I didn't have to have my tree, but I wanted them to interact with the holidays any way they wanted to. So they decorate, I don't. Throughout the year, I don't regularly cook, but what I do like, because I like gatherings and I love food, I like to do the special occasion cooking. So I do kick off the holiday season with a nice Thanksgiving dinner, and I plan the whole thing. If you watch any of my posts on Facebook, you know that I'm teased for my holiday control journal. And that's what keeps me even, because it focuses on the important for me, food and family.
Yes.
Not necessarily festivities,
yes.
which is an artificial environment for me. The other thing is, I really found that I love giving gifts to people, but I have to do it in a particular way. I have to do it not for any inauthentic reason, but because I want to. I choose gifts. One, we make Christmas lists. Yes, of course we do, because we want to give something that someone wants. And I choose from that list according to what my want, my desire, my excitement, and
point.
It's not dependent on their face when they open it. You know what I mean? Like, I get excited about choosing the gift, wrapping the gift, putting it under the tree. And I tap into that feeling. For me, it's not about the result of the gift. It's about the activity of gift giving. And then this was huge for me, Deanna. It took me all these years up till this year to do this last thing. Girl, I had to be okay with my friends who were totally into it. I had to be okay with my friends who had these amazing memories of Christmas.
Yes.
That I didn't share, that previously I had poo-pooed, that I was grinchy about, that I got all like, why are you all crazy about this thing? I was kind of ugly about it. And now I can celebrate with, I can be more than okay that my friends love this season, right? Because it is a long season, right? It kind of goes for some people in my family, it goes from Halloween through New Year's.
Yes.
Right? It just kind of
Yes.
hooks all together.
Yes.
Right. How about you? Do you have a tip or two that's helped you kind of survive the holidays a little bit better?
Not yet. No, I actually am really super excited. The most festive I am right now is in having this conversation. I am learning that I need a me too scenario. I have actually in years past just silently kind of muddled through the holidays, latching on to anyone else's festive spirit.
Mm, mm.
And so hearing you talk about what doesn't work is giving me some aha moments to reflect on. And I do love learning, and I am learning how to find an attitude of gratitude while also being okay with having an attitude about gratitude. Because while I want to hide and just pop back out and reemerged in the new year,
Yeah.
I am also finding myself more willing to just share my Baha-ness, my bah humbug
Yeah, exactly.
about it, and identifying where, as you were stating, where there are moments of angst, where I am feeling less comfortable
Right.
in the experience overall. And it's been an incredible journey, but it also lightens the load to be able to be open about what I'm not comfortable with.
Right, right. And it's so important. Let's talk a little bit about our next sponsor before we go over in this next part of the conversation. So Taff Enterprises is a leadership and communication and personal development training company that works with corporate leaders and small business owners. If you are ready to understand yourself, work with your staff and others more effectively, let's work together to define who you are, work in your strengths, and work with others in harmony, creating greater results. Text JaneTaff to 64600. That's JaneTaff to 64600. Okay, Deanna, let's talk about what um, our audience can really expect from our show. We have a few resources that we were really trying to think through what supports our audience in this time. And I know you love YouTube videos. You want to share the one you were talking about earlier?
Yes, I do love YouTube videos. And again, with the theme of us sharing from our personal experiences, and I can say also from the concept of self-help, but also in engaging with executive coaching, there is an incredible power of silence. And YouTube has been a wonderful resource for me over the last 2 years. And today I want to talk about Iyanla Van Zant. Iyanla has the power of silence on YouTube, and I encourage anyone to look it up because she's really walking us through a very specific meditation techniques, energy techniques, the power of breathing, and different kinds of breath techniques that allow us to observe where we are silent and then explore how that can empower us in our everyday interactions. And most importantly, the interaction we're having up top, those thoughts in our mind that are either helping or hindering us in this critical time during the holidays.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I have a book that I have really gone to over and over again, but I thought about it today because a lot of I grew up with me and a single mom. And so I had a lot of issues. And so I love this book. It's called The Mom Factor by Cloud and Townsend. And it talks about 9 different versions or characteristics of mom that we have as expectations as children, and how we can go about feeling loss if our mother that we grew up with does not have those 9 aspects delivered to us in a healthy manner. And here's the gold in the book. The gold is when you are an adult, you get to make choices. And how do you fill those roles that were missing from your childhood? And this is an excellent book talking about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I really love it. It had really changed my mind.
I'm actually going to take a look at that book. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So, what do you do when you're hit with some of the holiday funkiness? Aside from getting into your studies and,
Yeah.
maybe escaping into YouTube, can you share with me some of your tips, techniques, and go-to?
Yeah. I love that you talked about Ayanla because really it is stopping
Yes.
and coming present and breathing. Because sometimes when I like to call hyperventilating through activities, you're breathing really shallowly, you're just doing, and you don't know why.
Mm.
You're not connecting with yourself in the moment and having agreements that you want to do these activities. It takes away that feeling and actual feeling. You're just doing.
Hmm.
You're not present with yourself. So the very first tip is stop with what you're doing, check in with yourself, and just start deeply breathing.
Yes.
Get present with yourself. My number two is really, really important to me, and that's talk to somebody will not judge those feelings.
Mm.
I have a group of wonderful friends around me, both girls and guys, who know that I feel funky around the holidays. They don't judge me, and they may have similar experiences. They may have vastly and wildly different experiences from me, but they accept my feelings as mine.
Mm.
Do you have people around you that will let you express whatever your reality is?
I do, and more so in the recent past. My tribe is a very valuable resource. Well said.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, I look at friendships as treasures.
Hmm.
Do you have a full treasury?
Absolutely.
You have a
My
full treasure
treasury
box?
is precious.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And that's why we consider them, because they are precious. And tip number three, stop comparing.
Ooh.
If looking through those holiday magazines blows you up, freaks you out, puts pressure on you, scrolling through Instagram, looking at Pinterest, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Or maybe you and your girlfriend are sitting around just having a conversation and they're sharing their wonderful memories of the holidays, and you're like, that's not me.
Mm.
Don't compare, just listen. Just be present for them. It's not about you in that moment.
Yes.
Right? Stop comparing. That monster is ever present, right? And we have to beat that monster away and tell them, nope, not today. Right?
Yes. But jumping in your juicy toolbox from your past history can be very warming, very heartening.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And being okay, right?
Yes.
Being okay. The fourth one has something to do with that. Giving yourself permission to not be okay, to not do something. Right? For me, it was decorating. Once I gave myself permission, because isn't it true when we're children, we're looking for permission from outside of us?
Absolutely.
As an adult, we get to give permission to ourselves.
Absolutely.
To do and not to do, to like and not to like, to enjoy and not to enjoy. And that's important, that you get to be the master of that permission. Don't forget that. You get to give yourself permission. And like I said, for me, it was to not decorate. Okay. That doesn't mean nobody can decorate. That just means I don't have to.
Yes.
I don't have to. That brought me a lot of comfort once I decided that. And finally, please remember this above all else, be kind to yourself. This season is hard.
Yes.
You feel run down because of the stress. You're feeling that stress at work to get things done so that you can end the year well. And then on top of ending the year well, now you have to give your loved ones this treasured memory. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
For some of us, like me.
Well, we all want to be the bringer of good things for people that we care about, especially when you have children, as many of us women do. And that's a lot of pressure. And you can make some decisions to take the pressure off. That pressure lies within. It's reinforced outside of you, but it starts inside of you. And you have to, again, be kind to your own self, because, girl, if you're not your friend,
who will be?
yeah.
I had a feeling that was coming. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was watching in a deep depression, by the way, Dr. Phil one day, and he said, and I had to really think about it. It echoed in my mind for a few days. You teach people how to treat you. Do you want to stop doing that dinner that's killing you? Ask somebody if they could host it and you can bring your special dish. Right? What are some alternatives to those expectations? Maybe instead of you buying all the gifts for everybody, now you do a grab bag situation with your oh so large family. Maybe you pass on because those traditions are no longer for the age group. Like in our family, everybody got to be like young adults and teenagers, preteens, and buying for everyone was no longer needed. In fact, we needed to pass on the joy of that activity to our young people in our family. And now they have fun opening gifts from each other, not just us, which is really a lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So teach people how to treat you a new way. Don't keep reinforcing those bad ways like you're going to be super mom or super girl in handling all the festivities, all the decorations. You have to, you should.
Jane, that's exactly right. That is the transition, the shift that I am enjoying very much, is going from the pressure of I shoulda, woulda, coulda, to actually asking better questions that might empower an informed response about what I would prefer.
Yeah.
And those questions you're asking are, anyone can start there with a dialogue, an inner dialogue around what would be preferred, a preferred experience. And then we can from there ask our favorite.
Yeah.
Like you are to me. I just really have some other people in the family too that could be that would be more than happy to step up if I were willing to ask for what I need.
Right. Right. And we talk about crucial conversations.
Absolutely.
Is not the first conversation we need to have with ourselves.
Me.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. Check in.
Internal dialogue, the check-in. Yeah. Yes.
Just like we check in with our favorite girlfriends who we know struggle. Have you checked in with yourself lately? Have you asked yourself, do I really want to do that? Or am I shoulding myself? Yes. Shitting on myself.
Yes, you should never shit on someone
right.
that you love.
Exactly. And you should love yourself enough not to shit on yourself.
Well said. Yes, because we teach people how to treat us, as Dr. Phil would say. And we are the person who's most deserving of our kindest self. And as we are learning that, as I have come to learn that, it makes this topic of an attitude about gratitude more acceptable and also engaging.
Yeah.
If you're out there feeling that way, we want you to know, number one, that you're not alone. Yeah. Number two, that it is okay. And that we are creating a community for you here. And we hope you'll continue to join with us in the fun, frivolity, and all the sassiness you can handle every single week.
Yes. And for our sneak peek for next week, we're going to continue a little bit of this holiday funk situation that we have going on with part 2.
But we're going to make it funky.
We need to put some music behind all this. Yeah. But this week we're talking about an attitude about gratitude. Next week, we'll be talking about having an attitude with gratitude, which is going to be another juicy segment that will bring you as we all traverse through this journey of the holidays, the holiday season. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's Lipstick Leadership Legacy podcast. This is JaneTaff the Sage.
And Deanna Vestal, your career catalyst.
May your lipstick stay fresh and your attitude stay sassy.